Bulabinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tavua. We love Today FM in Tavua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tavenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Bula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, study reveals underage drinking. Fiji military forces is impartial, says commander. And Prime Minister kickstarts school visits.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Smith.
49% of the students in Fiji drank alcohol before they reached the age of 14. Health Minister Rosie Akbar revealed this during the launch of the wellness program at the University of the South Pacific this morning. Shireen Shivan reports.
Underage drinking is a concern to Health Ministry. The Global School Health Survey on students between the ages of 13 and 17 years was done last year and revealed more information concerning the younger generation in Fiji.
57% of the students studied in that survey used drugs before the age of 14. 12% of students studied currently smoked. 28% of the students were found to be overweight. 8% studies were found to be obese.
Rosie Akbar says these issues need to be urgently addressed or many more lives will be at risk. The Health Minister applauded the University of the South Pacific for organizing the wellness program to encourage healthy living among students.
This week is a partnership with the Ministry of Health, as the MC mentioned. It's been going for 5 years now, and it's really a great opportunity for the university to work closely with one of the most important ministries here, not just education but in health and wellness as well.
USP students fall in between 17 to 25 years, therefore you are also in that critical category, and we need you to become models for your younger siblings, and of course we want you to be the agents of change that we are looking at in trying to address this issue of NCDs.
USP Health Week is underway. It's hoped it will empower the students to become healthy role models and encourage them to be agents of change as future leaders of Fiji. Shireen Shivan, FBC News.
The Fiji military forces are impartial and do not share any direct link with the current government or the Fiji First political party. This was exclusively highlighted by RFMF Commander Rear Admiral William Naupoto on FBC TV's For the Record show last night. Akusita Tale reports.
Following claims by the opposition that it's meddling with government affairs and is closely tied to the government in power, the Fiji military forces have silenced their critics by saying they are unbiased and independent.
This is the second election, we must remember. Second election after 2014. But we are impartial. I am impartial. I resigned from Fiji First for me to take up this job. That's right. I resigned from it.
Commander Naupoto says Fijians are free to elect who they want in power, and the RFMF respects the decision of the people.
People are free to choose whoever they want to choose.
And you will respect that?
I will respect that, and we listen to the people through the government that they put in power.
Rear Admiral Naupoto adds Fiji has taken a huge step forward from where it was in the past and stresses that Fijians must learn the lessons of their history and move forward. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama has kick-started his visit to schools that the government has funded to upgrade and rehabilitate following Tropical Cyclone Winston last year. Bainimarama today opened the refurbished technical block at the Nayala High School. Savara Thumbor reports the government has spent $340,000 on this project.
Students from 11 villages within the Wanimbuka district will benefit from the new facility.
The home economic room of the technical block. The technical block involves home economics, the industrial arts and the agriculture sciences. Altogether, out of the 231 students, there are approximately 60 students that are taking either the home economics class, industrial arts, which involves applied technology, technical drawing and agriculture.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama says enormous resources have been poured into the rebuilding of cyclone-damaged schools.
The construction and implementation unit has completed 20 schools. The
that sustained major damage in the cyclone, with work underway on 148 others, many of which will be completed soon. And we've also, through the Ministry of Education, completed minor repair works on 143 schools, with 175 currently being completed.
The government is looking after us, since we're the future generation of the government.
It's good to the school, it's good for our students and for the upcoming generation of Nail High School, and I want to thank the government.
A total of 182 schools that was badly affected by TC Winston last year has been included under the rehabilitation program of the Economy Ministry. Out of that, 20 schools has already been completed and are ready to commission, while the rest will be completed in the upcoming financial year. Sabera Tambua, FBC News.
The Lautoka City Council is working with the National Fire Authority to put out the fire at the Vunathor rubbish dump. The fire started last night and these images were taken at around midday today. City Council Chief Executive Chone Nakauvandra says the stack of rubbish is heavy and it will take some time to put out the fire completely. Nakauvandra assured the fire is under control. The rubbish from Nandi, Lautoka and from hotels in the Yasawas and Mamanuthas are dumped here. Still to come, Help for Home initiative comes to an end. And new facilities for Fisheries Ministry in Rotuma. Stay with us.
Moala rarara ranalika o tikongo na tao na Singapore ando talitaka na wakaronga ng Bull FM number 2 na sere.
Ya dora subuli kurnambili. Iborani batu karaham para binaranga. Do talitakina na waronga ng Bull FM number 2 na sere. Bula.
Bula FM number 2 na sere.
Fiji Airways will be providing support to newly established international airline Samoa Airways. This after a memorandum of understanding was signed between the two airlines to pursue a range of commercial opportunities and partnerships. Under the proposed partnership, Fiji Airways will provide initial support to Samoa Airways. This is to help the airways launch its international services to and from Apia to Auckland and Sydney through the use of its established infrastructure in sales, commercial operations and maintenance. The Help for Homes initiative has ended after assisting thousands of families affected by Tropical Cyclone Winston. The multi-million-dollar initiative by the government was completed last week. Sanyani Mboilo reports.
About 35,487 families from TC Winston's most affected areas have benefited from the Help for Homes initiative.
Since this is the first pioneering program of this nature after a tropical cyclone, I think it's a commendable support by the Fijian government towards the rebuilding or rehabilitation of affected Fijian families.
The ministry visited Moa and Sausawu last week, and the last phase was completed in Navakawa village in Taveuni.
More to that was to hear the impacts of what the Help for Home had done positively for their families. Some families have got their homes up. In the whole exercise, it's comforting and also satisfying that when we go into communities, we see the lovely homes being built now.
We never really expected that we would be in such a way, but now I'm really happy, so happy.
Really happy, especially for my family, that I can rebuild my house again for has been taken from the Cyclone Winston. And I'm really great that I've been counted to and been remembered from the Help for Home.
The government invested $122 million in this initiative and will soon focus attention on affected areas of the Lau Group. The ministry will closely monitor the scheme to ensure all funds are well utilized. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Hundreds of households are facing water disruptions due to a burst main from the Waila treatment plant to the Wainimbuku reservoir. The Water Authority says supply will be restored once repair works and restoration is completed. Residents living in parts of Nasino and Flagstaff have been facing disruptions since last night. Water carts will be on standby to service the affected areas as and when the need arises. Those residents getting water supply feed from the Wainimbuku reservoir, Tovata reservoir, Nasino reservoir and Flagstaff will face disruption. A $1.7 million ice plant, office and quarters for the Fisheries Ministry was opened in Motusa Rotuma by the Minister for Forests, Osea Naingamu. The new developments include the construction of the ice plant with ice machine, office building consisting of an office and a conference room and a 3-bedroom quarters. Officials also received a 23-foot half-cabin fiberglass boat fitted with an outboard engine. Naingamu says work on further training will be undertaken to develop the fisheries sector in the area that will benefit the island community. Turning to world news, it's been 3 weeks since Mosul in northern Iraq was taken back from ISIS. That was largely because of American backing. The battle to take the group's operation base in the Syrian city of Raqqa is a very different challenge, but help is on its way. Ahead in sports with Jamie, Fiji women's under-19 team finishing on a high, but up next is Rachel with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up in business tonight. Preparations for CPA Congress underway. And in growing Fiji, road upgrade positively impact over 500 villages. Stay with us.
I'm another Sorbakro of Nayabu Wainimbuku Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Tano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. Leading business tonight. Fijian accountants and financial professionals will be given a platform to discuss ways to challenge today's unprecedented issues at the 2017 CPA Congress. The Congress is also aimed at providing skills, insights, and practical solutions to develop original ideas.
CPA Council members.
With the theme of connecting the biggest minds, this year's CPA is set to be better than ever.
What you're going to take it home, you're going to take home a lot of lessons which we need in our day-to-day business. So
CPA 2017 will host 10 international and local speakers from the likes of the founder of FCO Accelerator, the Bank of Queensland's head of marketing, and the man behind the New Zealand Tourism 2025 plan.
The most important thing is we got a fantastic line of speakers, including a former Prime Minister of New Zealand. So it's going to take the level of the conference, the standard of our conference to the next level.
The Congress will be held on the 14th and 15th of September at the Shangri-La Fijian Resort. And now with a look at the SPSC, here's Elizabeth from HFC Bank.
Vinaka, let's review the action on our local stock market last week. 6 securities were traded, amongst which 5 recorded share price gains and concluded at their respective all-time high prices. The gainers were ATH, which gained 0.65% to close the week at $1.54. Freebird Institute Limited bounced back to close at $2.41. Paradise Beverages concluded the week at $12.51. The Rice Company of Fiji closed at $3.85, while the restricted stock Fijian Holdings Limited ended the week at a new maximum share price of $4.60. These price gains resulted in the overall market value closing at an all-time high of $1.51 billion. The total return index gained 0.74%, following a combination of share price gains as well as a dividend return of 2.5% generated by Vision Investments Limited. And that's a wrap on last week's SPSC action. Vinak.
Thanks for the update, Elizabeth. Looking at today's exchange rates, the Fijian dollar strengthened against the Chinese yuan to close at 3.29, while it weakened against the American dollar, closing at 48 cents. Closer to home, the Australian dollar strengthened, closing at 61 cents, while the New Zealand dollar weakened, closing at 64 cents, and the PNG Kina rose, closing at 135. As for the commodities market, oil prices dropped over the weekend to close at $45.69 a barrel. Gold closed at $1,254 an ounce, and silver followed suit, closing at $16.51 an ounce. In Fiji tonight, the upgrading of Nambucalevu Road in Serua is expected to benefit over 500 residents as well as a river safari business. The road starts from the Queen's Highway and continues northwards through the rainforest and mountain ranges until it reaches the remote village. Drainage, surface reformation and resheeting work is being carried out on the road. Fijian Holdings Limited has invested more than $63 million in new properties, plants and equipment over the past 3 years. Group Chair Adrian Sofield says they are optimistic about the economy and it's important to invest as the time is right. During the current financial year, the group invested in 2 new vessels for South Sea cruises, new equipment for live cinema and basic industries, and building development for the RB Patel Group. Pacific Cement Limited also attracted investment of more than $2 million. And that's a wrap with business this evening. Now to the latest in sports. Here's Jamie.
Thank you, Rachel, and good evening. In sports after the break, big games being planned for Flying Fijians. And Rewa looks ahead after BOG win. This and more coming up.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1। इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारियल रेफ्रिकी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन टोटो ताबुआ के मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
Coach John McKee has revealed that the FRU is currently in talks with the New Zealand Rugby Union about the possibility of Fiji playing the All Blacks before the 2019 Rugby World Cup. McKee mentioned the negotiations while on FBC TV's Vodafone Sports Lounge show. Meli Tavanga reports.
After their successful performance at this year's June Test and the Pacific Nations Cup, Coach John McKee says they need to play against Tier 1 nations team to top up their preparation towards the World Cup.
It's no secret that we're trying to get a big test match here to kick our campaign off, and I know there's been communication between the CEO and New Zealand Rugby Union about the possibility of playing the All Blacks as our first game for that program. Probably in our last game before the Rugby World Cup.
For All Blacks to come into the country, it's a huge exposure for young players, rugby players, and the standard is just off to another level.
Oh, it's a fantastic opportunity for the Fijian people. The younger generation of 15s players.
Good news for the Fijian rugby fans as you get to see some of the biggest names in world rugby in action, as the Flying Fijians are expecting to host more Tier 1 nations to play on our own turf. Melitawanga, FBC Sports.
The HFC Bank Ratu Chosai Vorengembain Marama Shield's second contender, Lautoka, will have to work hard if it wants to win the prestigious title from Navasa on Friday. Assistant coach Nico Ngoro says they have learned from their mistakes and are making the necessary improvements. Eroni Tuinuku reports.
After bowing out in the Vanua Cup semi-finals against Rewa, Lautoka has set a standard to prepare for the challenge this week.
Lost. We sit down and discuss the weakness that we've been causes us the weakness of the semi-finals.
With only 2 teams left to play, Navosa will not drop their guards as they gear up to defend the title against the Maroons.
We're looking forward to a good game against Lautoka this week, and we'll give everything that we have to this game, and we know that it's now or never.
Lautoka will not take this challenge lightly as they are aware of Navosa's capabilities.
Prepared for the game on the next challenge by the Marama Croft, and so far we not taking Navosa as lightly because he'll be the champion for the Vanua Shield.
After a 15-6 victory over Overlau in the first challenge, Navosa will need to step up in order to retain the title at Lawanga Park in Singatoka this Friday. Eroni Tuinoku, FBC Sports.
Teamwork and faith. That's what Rio Football attributes its success to this season. Yesterday, the Delta Tigers added the Ink Mobile Battle of the Giants trophy to their cabinet with a 2-1 win over Nandi in the final. And they hope to take this recipe for success into the Premier League this weekend. Rohit Deo reports.
Second win in as many tournaments. Coach Marika Rondo says it wasn't easy, but equal contribution from every player made it look simple.
Tough ask to ask the boys to win 2 titles in a row. We had the long season starting from Champions League. The boys really stepped it up game by game, and basically the team beats with one heart.
Rondo says the players have a similar goal, which makes the team stand out from the others.
We share the same thing, we talk about the same thing, our focus is on the same thing, and we believe in one God. And that's, the boys have faith in God, and today it shows that without faith you cannot conquer the world.
Yusefo Verevo, who scored both the goals in the final, says it would not have been possible without the help from his teammates.
Only me. It's not me, I or myself. It's the team. Well, for me, I didn't score the 2 goals. It was the team who did that.
As they do so, the referee blows.
The side has no time to relax though, as they turn their focus to the Vodafone Premier League competition this weekend. The Delta Tigers received $15,000 for yesterday's win, while Nandi walked away with $4,000. Rohit Dev, BC Sports.
Meanwhile, in Vodafone Premier League matches this weekend, Lambasa will host Suva 1:30 p.m. Saturday at Subrel Park, after which Rewa takes on Reketi at 3:30 at the same venue on Sunday. Reketi plays Suva at 1:30 p.m. Then Lambasa and Rewa meet at 3:30. In other matches, Mba take on Nandi 3 p.m. Saturday at Govind Park, and Lautoka will host Rakiraki at 3 p.m. on Sunday. The Vodafone Fiji Under-19 women's football side defeated New Caledonia 2-1 in its last match at the Oceania Championships in New Zealand today. 2 goals from captain Luisa Tamanito Okula was enough to give Fiji their 3rd victory at the tournament and a 2nd place finish behind New Zealand. In another match today, New Zealand thumped Tonga 9-0. The Fiji women's basketball team lost its first match at the FIBA Women's Asia Cup in India earlier this morning. Singapore were too strong for the Fijians, leading 60-21 at the halftime break, then ended the game 103-38. Fiji's next game is against Lebanon at 6:30 a.m. tomorrow. The competition is a qualifying tournament for the 2018 FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup in Spain. In today's play of the day, a ridiculous long-range putt by 23-year-old U.S. golfer Jordan Spieth for a dramatic eagle, which saw him eventually win a thrilling British Open and become the youngest American to win golf's oldest event. That's it from sports this evening. Angie joins you later on with weather, and in the world of the weird and the wonderful, a new yoga trend which includes traditional poses and baby goats. Find out more after the break.
Bula, keron mai Singatoka, keron do talita kana varorong na Radio Fiji 1 and domoy viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola do talita kana Radio Fiji 1 kina domoy viti.
Kaya ko silil tale, nagurara may nawamanyi.
nandunga gitu tele-tele yang gitu Venezuela pun nangguntur rongo barong na Radio Fiji One nandumai biti
na Radio Fiji One nandumai biti na ponga ni BNN.
In new media tonight, the newest version of iOS patches critical flaws that could allow an attacker to take over your iPhone or iPad. Angie joins us now with the latest in weather.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. Hope you had an awesome weekend. I know most of us couldn't plan much because of the occasional showers. But it's the start to another glorious week and we can expect some fine weather rolling in. Looking at the west, it was mostly cloudy with little rain expected by later tonight. Eastwards from Pekhava to Suva, more rain clouds are increasing, which means showers are likely for tonight. And up in Vanuatu, sunshine was at its best today. At sea, southeast winds 10 to 15 knots with moderate to rough seas. And for the tides, low tide tomorrow morning will be at 1:25 with a high tide at 7:34. The beautiful sunrise will be at 6:36. For tomorrow, you can freely run your errands without any worries about heavy showers. Tomorrow's temps, Suva once again will have cool conditions with highs of 24 degrees. And looking further on to Wednesday, we will have some cool and pleasant conditions. And that, Jackie, wraps up our FBC weather for tonight.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. On Fiji Pulse today, we asked, are there enough marriage counsellors in Fiji?
I think there should be more marriage counsellors since more young couples are forming families and it doesn't take long for them to settle their families and their families they end up divorce.
No, I don't think there are many marriage counselors in Fiji because there are a lot of divorce cases coming up in Fiji.
I think Fiji does not have enough marriage counselors because many problems nowadays starts at home.
Fiji doesn't have enough marriage counselors at the moment. I think they should have plenty more because there's plenty of divorce cases and rape cases coming up in our country.
In the world of the weird and the wonderful, you may have heard of the downward dog pose in yoga or the cobra or the cow. Now get ready for the goat. It's goat yoga. Recapping the main stories, study reveals underage drinking. Fiji military forces is impartial, says commander. And Prime Minister kickstarts school visits. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question, the results from last week, we had asked, should strict action be taken on those retailers who fail to adhere to the decrease in fuel prices? 81% said yes. This week we are asking, are there enough marriage counsellors in Fiji? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day was sent by Semi Ndavui. The picture was taken at Seashell Beach Estates in Malangerengere, Singatoka, a perfect setting for picnics. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, have a safe and enjoyable evening. Bye for now.
Keron mai Singatoka, Keron do tali taka na varorong na Radio Fiji One and Domoy Viti.
Ayaw na rin siya. Kombinasyon mo tikola do tali taka na Radio Fiji One and Domoy Viti.
Kaya kuya do sila tali, naguraramay na umani, nandunga. Gitu tali-tali yang gitu Venezuela pun nangguntur rongo. Barong na Radio Fiji One and Domoy Viti.
Na Radio Fiji One and Domoy Viti na ponga ni BNN.